Hey everybody, we are here in Silver City, New Mexico, at the closest town, wouldn't you say?
Faywood.
And Faywood, New Mexico. We are at the
Non-ranch?
The non-ranch, and we are hunting with Desierto. Is that how we pronounce it? Desierto Alto Outfitters.
Correct.
And we're going to
Just
do
Noah Silva.
Noah Silva. Yeah, we're going to do a special remote episode of the Bullshit Sessions tonight. I'm joined by Paul.
Rapping Sticker Striker.
Your last name?
Rampant's right.
Ramp.
Yep, that's right.
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn, the Mule Deer Miyagi, Mr. Hawkins himself,
Wax on, wax off.
and John Yanta.
Nice. Yanta. Good
Yanta?
job.
You said it's like Santa with a Y.
Yeah, you get it. So you get the photographic memory. Does everybody know that he has like a snapshot? Everybody can tell him.
They do now.
Not quite. And Darlene, what's your last name?
Darlene Sierra.
Okay, yeah. I'm not even going to try that.
Sienta?
Sierra.
Sierra.
Like the
That
Sierra.
works too.
We're just going to kind of go around
Can
the
you tell him
table.
that Darlene's single right now? So if there's any available prospects.
She is on the
You want
market.
to give him an
gentlemen.
email? You can give her an email
What's
or
the criteria,
text the
though?
number.
What's the
I
criteria?
can tell him it's really good.
He has to work.
Yeah,
Has to be a worker.
Be drug free.
Drug free.
Like his mom.
Like his mother. What else?
I don't know.
You
Go
want
to church.
Go
Go
to
to
church.
church.
watch football and drink beer.
Oh yeah, you have to go watch football, drink beer,
Does he have to be a cowboy
go
fan?
fishing. No, doesn't matter.
No matter. Well,
6 requirements. That's not bad.
Hey, many of you can make that happen.
I don't know in today's world if that really
Yeah.
can happen,
It's not happening.
but so what we're gonna kind of do
I've
tonight?
been looking for love in all the wrong places.
Sounds like Glenn.
We're just gonna we're gonna go around the table. Paul, John, and I we're hunters down here this week. Hawkins here was my guide for the week, and Darlene was our chef extraordinaire.
Yes.
So, Paul, let's start with you. Now, this was kind of like your first big bow hunt. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And how would you? What are you taking away from this week? What do you think of?
Yeah, well, I think the things that jumped out the most was my friend John invited me, and he's been the one who's introduced me to hunting and bow hunting now. And so doing this as my first hunt, there was excitement, there was butterflies, there were emotions, but it was phenomenal. Do it again in a heartbeat.
Do it again in a heartbeat. Okay.
So, but you've bow hunted with a crossbow and shot a deer, and you've also sat in the Midwest in a tree stand. But
Yeah.
this is different in what way?
Yeah,
Sorry to take over your
I,
position.
That's all right, man.
I heard about the stock hunt and but hearing about it, and you guys telling me about it, completely different from actually just getting out there and the physical, the mental, the emotional that was necessary in this whole thing. Because as you guys know, this week was that, all of that and more.
What was the most difficult part of this trip for you?
I'd say the mental part of the deer that I shot and that we didn't find.
But you
And then
did.
lo and behold-
You did today, the
Yeah.
last day of the hunt.
3 days later.
3 days later, you did find that buck, and
We
you
found
made a great.
Well, just so
kill
they
shot.
know back home, he shot one in the neck, which had just a huge, incision in the side of his neck, blood flying. They tracked it for how many miles?
13 miles is what showed up on his.
And then the next day they look
That
for
first
it.
day.
Yeah.
And then the third day, look at it, he's chasing a doe.
Right.
And it's kind of sealed up a little bit. And then he ends up tracking it and killing
Yeah,
it.
I ended up spotting this buck later on that day, and I remember before it got up and left, this buck would put his neck down into the dirt and try to get the dirt
Seal it up.
to pack it.
Yeah.
And then just got up and left. Just like bring a bandit on a situation and just get up and leave. You know, for miles, I was with you. For miles, it had an arrow stuck in its neck, not underneath the vertebrae, but right on top, and it was all the way through. And this deer is just running around like normal.
It speaks to the conversation you and I had yesterday about how tough animals actually are. Like, you know, humanity, you know, we like to think we're tough, but when you compare us to these wild animals, dude, we're cream puffs.
Right.
I mean, just total cream puffs. You know,
And we like cream puffs.
you know,
One's the sugar. Is that sugar?
No.
Darlene, have you made cream puffs?
salt.
No,
Lime
Try
salt.
it.
I didn't even
Lime
know.
salt.
But before you talk
Oh,
about
man.
Paul, because I know you're the director of this communication and everything else, you might want to tell us a little bit about how you made a shot 95 yards.
Amazing.
Because you're kind of an expert shooter.
This-
You can shoot up to 140 yards.
Yes.
Do they know that? Do they know how good a
This
shooter you are?
this
With a
isn't
bow, not a slingshot.
Yeah.
this isn't
Who thought it
about
was a slingshot?
this isn't about
Samson Goliath.
this
David
isn't
Goliath.
this isn't about me. This is you guys.
No, but give us a little, 5 seconds.
Yes, we're asking. So
Did
you
Huck
have
do a
to
good job dropping you off? Because do people know you're toeless?
Yeah.
And you're kind of not the most mobile on these big up and down hills.
No.
And the big daddy over here, your guy, gets you in a position to freaking sling one out there, and it's like going, what?
Okay, real quick, and then we're gonna get back to you guys because this isn't about me. No, we had made 2 stalks on this deer already. We spotted him about 8:30 in the morning. Decided to put a stalk on. Got busted by a doe about halfway to him. They ran down into the bottom of the drainage. We repositioned. You actually came up through the drainage to try and get them to come my direction. Didn't work out for us. They went up over the ridge. We were headed down to the UTV and saw them 2 ridges over.
Yeah.
And Hawkins made the call. He's like, we're going to get in the ATV. We're going to drive just like normal. And you just be ready to jump out and shoot, and I'll give you a range as soon as we stop. And we get there, we start going, and Hawk's like, hey, it's going to be probably like an 80-yard shot. So I set my sight to 80. As soon as he stopped, saw the buck, I jumped out, got ready to shoot. You yell out 95 yards. Draw the bow back, get the pin settled, shoot, and we're not 100% sure, but we think it went like right over his back. And he didn't really spook, he didn't move, didn't even really know he was shot at. And I managed to get a second arrow knocked, settled the pin in again, shot, and we were both watching the trajectory of the arrow at that distance, and it looked like it was going to go over him again. And I actually turned to you and I'm like, shit, what's going on? I'm shooting over. Because the arrow disappeared, and then all of a sudden the deer kicked, and 20 yards?
Maybe 20 yards.
20 yards, and it was a double lung shot. Like John said, I do practice out to 140 yards so I can make some of these longer shots. I do a lot of my hunting out west where you have to be able to make longer shots. But definitely, someone up above looking out for me on that.
And also the background of the Tippy Moose insight. 170 class buck, right?
Yeah, 170 class muley.
I've noticed though, not to interrupt your deal, but she's getting some texts. Do you think people are texting already to see if she wants to go on a date because they think they have all those qualities? And
Well,
she has?
I will say this much.
Well, I think we got to revert to
Add your
Darlene.
thoughts in the comments, right?
They're probably much more.
She's trying to cover it up with her beard and stuff. I don't know what that she's got in her right hand, but
They're probably much more interested in whether or not they meet those qualifications than anything the 4 of us
that's true.
have to say.
That's why I'm trying to bring the the brighter side of the whole public.
So we are gonna, we'll get back, but we're gonna take a little sidebar, get off of me, and we're gonna turn our attention to Miss Darlene because Miss Darlene has been our cook this whole week.
Yeah.
She's made
Darlene,
us
take a look at the cameras. Let's
some fantastic meals.
Yep,
and
good
she's
meals.
actually put up with us for a week. So I guess my question is, what's that like being like the only woman in a camp full of guys that pretty much don't hold back. You know, I mean, we're
Bunch of pumpkin heads.
a bunch of pumpkin heads.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
So how long have you been doing this?
3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And how'd you get started doing this kind of stuff?
Noah was put in a position where he needed a cook, and we had been talking, and he said, "Would you mind doing this?" And I said, "Heck yeah!"
Yeah.
And so.
I wouldn't
ever
mind
since
doing
then,
it, or
yeah,
heck yes, I
said,
will do
"Heck
it.
yeah, I'll do it for you." And that very first hunt, it was 9. I was cooking for 9 people,
Ooh.
and it was
Where does
great.
this week rank?
So far as horror stories.
It wasn't a horror story. This one was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So, did you enjoy one story in particular?
Yeah.
We won't go into that.
But no, getting the stories. We heard a good story that involved Darlene just tonight, and then you had an interesting experience with the oven the other night too, didn't you?
Oh,
Yes.
So what happened with the oven?
It was freaking scary. The whole glass thing just exploded. It shattered out to hell, and glass went everywhere. And
You
I
were
jumped,
Even into the garlic
I
bread.
jumped and I yelled, and he yelled, and
But here's the interesting
It was
story.
a tough yell though. It was like, oh.
There was another guy. There was another guy down there. Were you here when Ted was here?
Yeah.
So Ted looked at her garlic bread, and it was so attractive and juicy looking.
Yeah,
He
I
goes,
didn't
"I
touch
gotta
the
try a
toast.
piece."
we were eating spaghetti that night, and so my garlic toast was making, and it was smelling good and everything. It was almost ready, and then big old loud explosion, and the thing shattered, and then so I didn't want to touch this toast because I said, "No, shit, there's glass in it." Well, somebody put it on the counter, and it looked really good, and so
So Ted decides he's gonna risk it.
yeah,
Because
take a
what
bite.
are the chances?
Right.
And I said, "No, don't eat it. Don't
One
eat
bite
it.
later,
There's
he's already got
in it."
glass all over his tongue.
He's out, Darlene, there's
Did he cut
glass.
himself?
No, but he just says there's glass in there. He's taking pieces off his
Yeah.
tongue.
Oh, jeez.
Wondering why it was all shiny.
Yeah.
So you could see it. He still did it.
So I'm gonna let you, and we won't interrupt you, none of us.
He looked at me.
We're gonna let you tell the other story we heard tonight about maybe your favorite guest of all time.
Which one?
The one that thought he had the qualifications.
That
Did he
dude.
have any of the 7?
No. He drank a whole lot. He
So
just
what was he trying to do to catch your eye, to get your attention?
come in here half naked.
Coming here out naked.
Top or bottom?
He had his shorts on, but no shirt. Just strutting his stuff, and
Any interest at all?
no,
No?
no.
Didn't do it for you.
So
huh?
if he was a little bit different personality and kept his shirt on, what would that be? Because you said he was somewhat attractive from the chest level because he's well built, right?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't an ugly man, but just he's very married.
Very married. Yeah, that's usually
That's a problem.
That's usually
Very
not one of
married.
the factors they're looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, it shouldn't even be one of the 7. It's
Yeah.
just understood,
And he was
right?
thinking what happens at the Nan Ranch is gonna stay at the Nan Ranch, and nothing happened at the Nan Ranch. So sorry, dude.
Close enough to Vegas.
You know, Darlene, he's
Sorry,
gonna
dude.
be watching this in a couple months and gonna start crying. He's gonna go in the back room and start crying.
I didn't mention no names.
Oh.
I didn't even know his name actually. I don't know his name.
I think it's Glenn. Something like that.
He
Well,
does
I
not
think-
have a body like that.
I think we'll all agree that the food has been absolutely phenomenal, and we really thank you.
Great, thank you.
I mean, it's just been
Yeah.
amazing.
I have not lost any weight.
No.
No, and I can
You're not
afford
gonna lose
to,
weight
but
here.
no,
I don't.
no. So,
Thank you.
Even
And-
your pie,
Yeah.
which is lemon pie or lemon
Lemon
meringue.
meringue.
I don't like those. I hate lemon meringue, and I ate it and it was good.
How about that?
Yeah.
The banana.
Oh yeah.
Banana pudding.
Yeah.
That's my
Is
favorite.
there any left?
Oh.
all right, so I want to turn to Hawkins here for a minute because he's a guy that's worn a lot of hats in his lifetime, and did a phenomenal job guiding with me this 4.5 hours of my hunt. And no, seriously, I mean, just a phenomenal job spotting, putting together a stock, and I mean, we joke about it, but I do have some toes missing on my one foot, so I can't navigate some of the terrain as well as I used to. And he made it really easy for me to get around. He helped out a lot. But tell us a little bit about some of your experiences guiding.
Wow.
Glenn.
Like Paul was saying, guiding is an emotional roller coaster. You have good days, you have bad days.
And before you go further, I should say, like, you know, if you get a quality guide like Hawkins, I mean, he's truly as emotionally invested in your hunt as you are. Like, he may have been more pumped up about my success than I was.
Yeah. And in a way, before you came, I was doing my typical interviewing of people. I interviewed him a little bit. He's one of 8 or 9 children, right? You're oldest of 9 boys.
I'm the oldest out of 9 boys.
So he's done a lot of diaper changing, laundry, cooking, babysitting. So as he guides, he's doing a lot of that too. You know,
I've shared everything I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's mine. It's for everybody else.
So, like,
selfless.
What's one of your favorite memories guiding? What's something that like really stands out to you? Like a particular hunt or?
I think it was this year. I've had this returning client. She's a youth hunter. Her name is Sydney. She wants to shoot a bull as big or bigger than her dad, and he shot a 333 bull, and she wants something bigger. And for a couple years now, she's had with me a couple times where she would shoot and hit one, and then wouldn't want to go and do it again. And then I would tell her stories about, you know, how life is and how things are, and when it's tough. Like, you're not determined, like, you're not made by the good times, you're made by the bad ones. What you do after something bad has happened. What can you do now? Like, you're all full of dirt and shit. Like, just wipe yourself off. You're still clean and beautiful underneath, you know? So she failed several times. For 2 years she failed. And finally this year, it was the last day of her hunt, and her dad had told me that she needed something motivational. And she's big on cows. She has this cow, a steer, and she loves this thing. She takes it for walks. She does all these things for it. And I'm trying to figure out how I can put my passion, my love in guiding into her cow. And she told me a story that she likes to wash her cow, and how it like puts all the soap and it gets all fuzzy and he kind of shakes, and he loves it. He likes to be washed by her. And I told her, well, we're at the last part of you washing your cow when he really likes for you to rinse him off. And she was looking at me like, what? And I was like, you're not done washing your cow yet. You know, it's the last day. We got an hour left, and I don't even think we're in the proper spot, and we weren't. So we drove 45 minutes on a UTV to a different place where I thought we might find one here. And sure as shit, we went over there, and we got there, and the sun had went down. I had about 15 minutes more of light. Within 3 minutes of being there, I spotted a bull and 4 cows, and it was a mile and a half away. So I get on the UTV and I cross a couple ridges. I find the ridge that we're on, and I'm like, we're gonna have to run down this ridge. So we're getting close to the ridge, and there happens to be a road on this ridge that I've never even been on. So we go flying down this road, and I was like, get ready, it's gonna happen. I don't even think I finished. And the cows passed by, and the bull passed by. I was like, get out, let's go. We got 10 minutes of daylight, 5-7 minutes of daylight. So we go running down 400 or 500 yards down the ridge, and we're at the last of it. There's maybe three minutes of shooting light, and we've already stopped. She turns back and looks at me, and her dad looks at me, and I'm like, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And then she was like, it's fine. And then I kind of like push her out of the way a little bit. Got the shooting sticks, put the shooting sticks down, got it to where I know where she likes it. Got the gun from her dad, put it down. I was like, come on, Cindy. And she was like looking at me like, I was like, there's your bull. And she was like, oh my God. I was like, we're just at the shooting range. Just shoot the target, okay? And she gets on the target and then you just see the bull. And then
How far away?
fall down 110 yards away.
Wow.
Nice.
She shoots her bull. She is ecstatic. Like she can't even believe what's going on. So this gets even crazier. So the bull's down. The bull's down. We know he's down. I hear him doing the groan it's like a death groan. Her dad is like, I need to go back to the UTV to get the camera and the bag and all that. I have my pack with me. I'm ready to go. He has to go get his camera and all the stuff. He goes up the hill, 400 or 500 yards up the hill. He doesn't come back.
Heart.
No, doesn't have a heart attack. He goes up the ridge. As we're coming down the ridge, we exit the passenger side of the UTV and go down the ridge. He's so excited that he goes up, gets their 2 packs, puts them on. Instead of turning around and coming back down the ridge, he goes to the other side of the UTV and goes the other direction.
How
So-
do you do that?
Excitement,
That's a lot
being
of
dark, his daughter shooting her first bull, he's trying to get back, he's in a hurry. What ended up happening is he had to go to the other side of the UTV to get the pack. So in his mind, he's still just got to turn around and go back down the hill. Turned around and went the opposite direction. So now I'm waiting for him to get back to us. I'm waiting there with Sydney. We're not even going to the bull yet. I'm like, what's going on? He should have been here. He should have been here. It's like, okay, you stay here. She doesn't have a flashlight, so I give her one of my flashlights in my pack. And I was like, just put this little strober on and just look around. Just spin circles. I was like, I don't want you to leave here. So I go back up to the UTV. As I'm going, I'm giving my hoot and holler and all this, and no response. I get to the UTV, I'm screaming, no response. I'm like, what's going on? And then my instincts, I'm like, dude, I gotta track this guy now. So I get out another flashlight, and
It's dark.
It's dark. It's dark has happened. I'm looking on the ground. And I'm like, oh shit, he tripped right here. I was like, yep. So I start going down this ridge. I'm 200 yards past the UTV, 600 yards away from my hunter or my client now, and I'm over there screaming. And then I hear him, yeah, he's even further away than where he's supposed to be. So I go back up. I don't say nothing where I'm at no more. I go back to the UTV. I get on the UTV and I whistle as loud as possible. And I hear him, and then I hear him, and he's getting closer and getting closer and getting closer. This is an hour and 30 minutes later. And I hear him getting closer, so every time he would whistle, I would whistle, and then I'd run back down to Sydney. And I was like, okay, I found him, but he's still far away. I was like, if you want to just hang out here, girl, just hang out here. I found him, but he's, and she was like, it's okay, it's fine. We get back, and I get back over there, and finally we're all together. It's been a while. It's been like 2 hours since we shot the bull. That track in there, we're finding bear scat all over the place. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, there's a bear in here. So I get my sidearm, I rack one in. I go in first. I find the elk. Everything's cool. We gut it and do all this stuff. We congratulate, we're proud, everything's happening, great.
How big a elk?
It's a small guy. It's a 5x5, a young bull. It's maybe 250, 280 inches. It's a young bull.
Yeah.
Probably 2-year-old, 3-year-old at the most. First time this has ever happened to me, I did the next day. Everything happened perfect, everything's great. But the next day, I'm in my Forerunner, and so crazy. I'm cleaning out my 4Runner, getting all my knives and stuff cleaned out, and I have my pistol on my seat, and I'm like, man, that's dusty. So I get my pistol out. I'm cleaning it, I'm in my 4Runner. I'm at the lodge. There's Jack Diamonds over there, and 6 other guides are over there, and I'm cleaning my pistol, and I see behind my trigger guard, and I stick my handkerchief in there, and I try to get behind my trigger. Didn't remember that I wrapped one in there because I'm looking for a bear that's gonna be at our elk, and I did a negligent discharge in my 4Runner, blew out my radio, like it went from all these crazy things.
What did those guys all do?
Poof, freaked out. I was in a dust ball in my car because the shock in there.
The noise too.
The noise was like,
oh, your ears are ringing for you.
I have 3 brothers, and the trader I'm saying, all of my brothers are concealed carry instructors. You're not supposed to do this. It happens as long as you're with something like that. It might happen.
You forget about it. You make a mistake.
I forgot, and I made a mistake.
Yeah.
But you know, it can go. It's a roller coaster. It goes from the highest of highs to it could have been the lowest of lows. I could have shot my knee out, or I could have done something. I could have hit my artery.
Oh, yeah.
I could have killed somebody else.
Yeah.
I could have done so many things, but you know,
You just killed the radio.
I just killed the radio.
So what about
That's perfectly
what about
fine,
the dad? Did he realize
Oh my God.
that he lost?
He apologized. And if you're not lost, you're not found. You know, like he needed that to go and just bring himself back. Just slow down a little bit, bro. We don't need to go 90 no more.
Right.
You know, but
Wow.
something simple.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a hell of a story to
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
I mean,
I got a little goosebumps there.
no, I will tell you. I mean, I'm sure Hawkins could tell us all kinds of memorable
That's
stories
just
because,
one thing.
like I said, I mean, he's a man that's worn a lot of hats in his lifetime, and something he was telling me about that, you know, obviously it's very interesting, and we've seen TV specials and movies and all kinds of shit, but you were actually, for a while in your life, you were what they called a hot shot, right?
Yeah.
So explain what that is.
A hot shot is a type 1 firefighter. You're the first one to go in and the last one to come out.
And these are forest fires now. This isn't like house fires.
No, yeah. No disrespect to house or firefighters that fight against house fires. I don't do that. I save trees.
Yeah.
You know.
And potentially homes.
And homes also.
Yeah.
Homes get
And
lives.
lives.
And lives. And you know, I save babies. They might not be human babies, but I'm saving animal babies and stuff like that. But a hot shot has to have requirements. I served in 2 hot shot crews. I served with Silver City Hot Shots and the Payson Hot Shots. They have requirements. You have to run within Payson. This is my last hot shot crew that I was with. Payson hot shots have requirements, and if you don't meet them, there is no second chance. You go there in shape. You don't go there to get in shape. If you're not number 1, we're gonna find somebody better than you. You have to run at 1.5 miles under 10 minutes.
40-pound pack.
The 45-pound pack is the easiest thing we did. 45-pound pack, 45 minutes, 3 miles. We had a hike that was anywhere from 7 to 10 miles, and if you lost 2 paces or you fell out of line, you're out.
Did they walk as fast as Glenn? Another guy.
Yeah. You keep a pace. You don't keep up. You catch up. It's easier to keep up than to catch up. There's none of that other stuff. You travel the nation. You eat good food. You sleep in horrible places. The majority of my time, I'm sleeping on the ground with no sleeping bag in the middle of nowhere. I have this thing and it's there with me every day. I have the most horrible lungs now.
Tell them what that is.
This is just Combivant. It's just a rescue inhaler. Anytime I get excited for anything, I'm like.
Did he do it?
Oh yeah, I puffed on it a few times.
I have
Yeah,
to
I'm
do
going
it.
at 95 yards, right?
Yeah.
Like there was times where we'd be holding line. Holding line is the fire. You dance with this fire. You know anchor. You flank, and then you pinch, and then you catch it. But then after you catch it, now you gotta hold it. And holding, you know, wind's blowing one direction. If you're lucky, it's going one way, and if you're even more lucky, you're on the opposite side of that. But if you're not so lucky, you're getting it all in your face.
Yeah.
And there was times where I would spend 10 to 14 days holding line that we caught a fire, or some other hotshot crew caught a fire, and we were only there for 7 days. And we had this smoke so thick that you can't see this.
Did it ever singe your hair or the heat?
I know I had, you know, embers on. I was a sawyer. I was a sea sawyer. I had the embers go down my back. I had scars down my back where, you know, embers would go down my back, and it wouldn't turn out until they hit the sweat of your ass. Now they make shrouds for that, so you put that on.
Basically, you've been doing some pretty heroic shit.
I did hot shot for 11 years, and I fought wildland fire for 20 years.
Wow. Yeah. So you know, some pretty heroic.
Do you like your mom?
I love my mom.
Okay.
She is the most powerful woman there is. Yeah.
So,
I love my mom.
I mean, you know, it really was. It was fantastic hunting with you and hearing, you know, killing our buck as early as we did. I had a chance to really hear some great stories yesterday, and I mean, it just, you know, story after story after story. We could do 3 hours just on Hawkins here, man. I mean, it'd be easy. And one more story from him before we move on to Johnny here, and I'm certain you guys haven't heard this story. He and I were talking about it, and dude, you almost had me in tears. I asked you if you'd ever done anything with, like, you know, Make-A-Wish or Hunt of a Lifetime or stuff like that. And you told me a story yesterday that was just like, dude, seriously, gut-wrenching. Well, if you don't mind, how about share that story with us?
A few years ago, I was working for this outfit company. I still work for him, but they had this gentleman that had something going on with his bones, and it wasn't.
He was basically losing bone mass, I think.
Yeah. So his bones are just falling apart. This guy lives in a bubble, but his dream was to shoot an elk. So there's a few of us guides. I wasn't the only one, but there's a few of us guides that got together with him and his family, and he had some engineers build him this stand, and you know, just 4-legged stand. Excuse me. And then he has his little chair, and then he had this amazing rifle made for him. The rifle sits onto the stand. It has a screen on it, and then he sits in his chair, and he has this computer. And anytime that he wants to move the rifle, he plays with this screen. It took several times to get this guy. He can't walk, he can't do any of this stuff. So his mom and his dad are with us, and his little sister is with us. Taking one person in the woods is hard, but taking 5 or 6 people is a little bit harder. And then the gentleman can't walk, so we're taking turns. We put his arms around our neck, and then we pick him up. And as long as we could carry him, we would move up the ridge or side slope or do whatever we needed to do, and then we would just pawn him off on another guide, and then the next so on and so on. But finally, it happened where a bull cooperated with us, and we set him up. Everything worked out, everything's perfect, and we put the gun down and all that. All of his family's there with us. We're in the shade, they don't know what's going on. And he goes and he picks the elk and he sees it, and then he puts it right where we want it, and we're like, oh, we better go a little bit higher there, buddy. He's on it, but the elk is 400 and some yards away, and he's shooting right for the heart, and we just want him to go up a couple more inches. And he kind of looks back at us and he's like, oh, like, you know, he gives a little bit of attitude, but then he just goes on his computer and just puts it up, and then he looks at us like, this is gonna happen, you know, it's gonna happen. And then he just like pushes the button, it fires, and then the elk just dies. He hits it and it just falls down. And this kid is the most happiest person there ever is. His family, everybody is just ecstatic. We get there, we take the pictures, we do all this stuff. And then 2 weeks later, the young man passed away.
Wow.
And, you know, like, I don't know if he was just holding on for that one little moment to go and get that to happen, but just to be a part of something like that, I absolutely love my job. I definitely miss not having my kids to do this, but once this is over, I'm still a guide. I go home and we'll go do the same thing with my kids. Like, even though we can't go hunting, we can go still look, and we can sneak in, we can get close, and we just learn all kinds of things, because there is a lot to learn out there.
Well, I mean, I wanted you to tell that last story because it's a story worth telling, obviously. But I also wanted you to tell that story because, I mean, it just, when you were telling me it just showed me the kind of character you had. I mean, we've all hunted enough to know what it's like to try and make it up and down these mountains we're hunting in and everything. And you got a guy here who's literally carrying another human being just to give him that opportunity. And that, to me, spoke a lot about Hawk's character.
Yeah,
Good
huge.
guy.
I'm not the only one like that.
Well, now we're on to the big dog, the main man,
That's you.
German Shepherd.
the main man, Mr. John.
Not me.
And
I'm getting tired.
I had,
Bedtime.
you know, I had,
Those were good stories. Those are good bedtime stories.
Oh my gosh, those are great.
I had a chance to talk to John a good bit this week. I mean, he's kind of an introvert,
Yeah.
and it's hard to get him to open up. But every now and then you can get him to, you know, say a few words.
Especially what time is it? Around 11 o'clock, yeah.
So, but no, one of the great things that I've learned about John here this week is John has a talent for introducing a lot of people to the outdoors. And Paul is in this culture now thanks to John, and I know you've told me about some others, so just tell us a few things, if you don't mind speaking.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
It is dry.
here's what I'd say: is hunting's a dying sport, unfortunately, because we got so much compression or pressure from the media to the world, anti-gun or anti-anything that has to do with killing from animals and safety of animals, and so it's harder and harder to find young kids and get them to go into hunting. So when you find somebody that has passion in life, and then they want to get into hunting, it's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. You know, for me, I'm blessed to have a farm in Buffalo County, and so I have a lot of people that want to come down and shoot deer. So it's not difficult for me to introduce people. It's more like, how do I weed out people that are going to injure deer or not really get into it? And so it's kind of more of an interview process. A guy like Paul, he's there. I mean, you know, he's come down there and he's up every morning early. He's there on time. He gets to the stand. And this is weather that's 15-degree wind chill. I mean, it's cold and you're sitting 2, 3, 4 hours not moving, and he's consistently doing it, not seeing anything or not having anything that he can shoot at. So those are fun things to see. Someone that actually wants to keep doing it and has that passion.
Right. Well, I mean, I think, like I said, from talking to you, it's easy to see you have a passion for this. You have a passion for life.
Just people like Glenn. He's sleeping right now, but there's a guy here. There's a guy here that hope your dad gets it. Your dad watches the show. Tell him to watch it. You gotta go with Glenn. If you don't go with Glenn, you're missing out. I mean, if you gotta give him crap because Glenn loves to be teased.
Yes.
Dad, if you decide to come down here, we've already made arrangements that Glenn will be your guide.
Right, he is good.
I think you'll enjoy that.
So how many, like when he took
You
out
won't
Paul,
forget it.
He took Paul and Jay, two of my buddies, down here, and how many stocks do you think you and Jay had?
Over 15 easily.
15 stocks in 5 days or less.
Yeah.
That's and devoted and wanting to do it. That's the kind of fun stuff,
Yeah.
And then to get back around the coffee table or the dining table to have camaraderie and tease each other and share
No
those
teasing
experiences.
happened
No,
at all.
none. It was nothing but serious strategy,
Right.
planning.
Right. But if you want to know about deer hunting, bow hunting, archery, canoes, right here, Tipsy
Right
Moose,
there, Tipsy
right there, the
Moose.
#1 adventure. This guy's knowledgeable. At first, I thought it was a little bit like doesn't have
Bullshit.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of guys don't back up the words. He does.
Oh man, yes he
I
does.
saw that.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, it was great sharing camp with you guys this week and with you, Miss Darlene.
Thank you.
And we're gonna cut it off here because
Well, before you do it, what are the 7
yeah.
items that you want?
Recap real quick before we sign off.
And
Job.
do you want to give me your email address?
Needs to have a job.
Have a job.
Yep.
No drugs.
Loves his mom.
Likes football.
Loves his mom.
Loves his mom. Watches football.
Likes to drink
He likes to
beer.
drink beer.
Likes
go
to
fishing.
Fishing and hunting.
And we'll go to church.
and we'll go to church.
Yes.
So pretty much your good, clean-cut, wholesome, all-American boy.
Right.
So
Where are you?
well, we're gonna call it a night here. John and Paul have a 16-hour drive tomorrow, and that's only the halfway point to get back to
Right.
Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
I'm not flying out till Sunday, but I am driving up to Albuquerque tomorrow. I'm gonna spend the night up there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We really had a lot of fun
Yeah.
filming it. Had a lot of fun this week. I mean, it was a great trip. So if you're looking for a really nice, I'd say desert mule deer hunt, or we were here muley hunting, but I mean, they have nice elk here, good antelope. We saw, oh my God, how many turkeys did we see yesterday?
There's 50, 60.
Yeah, we saw a couple groups in
Jeez.
the 20s, and they're all gobblers, not ants.
Yeah, all gobblers. Like seriously, I've never seen that many gobblers bunched up in my life. But anyway, check out
Desierto.
Desierto Alto Outfitters. Noah Silva.
Yep.
It's in. I know we're by Fayetteville, but I think his website says Silver City, New Mexico. I think so.
Yeah.
Check him out. Little short, like Apache midget. But, yeah, but no, he's a good dude.
And he has good guys.
Very good guys. Very good guys.
Great
Actually,
experience.
just a first-rate outfit all the way around.
And his cook's available.
His cook's available. If
Not
you're
not
lucky.
for eating the food that she cooks, but if you want to go on a date.
Yes.
All right, everybody, have a good night.
See ya.
Bye.